For you, creativity has taken a lot of different forms.
Yes.
You've been a writer, you are a writer, you're an author, you're a visual artist, you have interviewed people, so that kind of level of creativity, conversational creativity. You've been a public speaker, you've been a comedian. You also have had your very real struggles with your own life.
Well, I had a closed head injury when I was 10 years old. I could have died from it. It was a very bad brain injury, and I recovered, but ended up having this learning disability, which nobody knew anything about. And A, it was Maine. B, it was my family. So nobody talked about anything. And so that was a challenge. That was created a lot of, for lack of a better term, harmonic discord and dissonance, and this idea that, for one thing, one of the simplest and most profound and upsetting aspects of this, not unlike a lot of folks who have some learning, they learn differently, the spectrum disorder. And the thing I have is an autism spectrum disorder thing. But what I would do is I would score astronomically high on aptitude tests and do poorly in classwork. Well, in 1961, in a little town in Maine, there was only one explanation for that. You were or two, really. You were lazy, or you were acting out and goofing on the teachers, neither of which was the case. It was a more subtle, more complex problem. But because of that dissonance, by the time I was 15 years old, I was suicidal. I had suicidal ideation. I didn't know what end was up. I dropped out of school. But what saved me in a way was real life. Because I would go, when I finally stumbled through high school and went to art school in Portland in 1969, and people say, "Oh, you seem to be very smart." I said, "No, you're confusing me with my brother. He's smart. I'm the dumb," like that. But you have these definitions of yourself. And I quickly realized that in the world, at art, so here I am at what used to be the Portland School of Fine and Applied Art, dear old PISFA. But anyway, we would sit around, there'd be 12 of us in a drawing class, and there'd be a model or a bowl of fruit or, the dead pearl fisher or something, and we would be drawing. And you could walk around that room, and everyone could draw. That's why they got to art school and wanted to be in art school. But none of those drawings looked exactly alike. And we would do critiques, but it wasn't this one's good and that one's bad. It's like, what were you shooting for here and how were you doing that? And we'd like that. And that, I was at 18, 19, and that opened. I said, oh, so this is a world where there's no right answer.